Yo, what's good everyone? Hope you're doing great. So today video I'm gonna talk about my worst Tinder date. Hope you're gonna like it, and if you don't, well, fuck you! So let's get right into it. So the story starts, I was at home matching with girls on Tinder, then a girl sent me a text on Tinder. So I texted her back and started talking about random stuff. After a moment, she asked me for my Snapchat, so I gave her my Snap. After chatting for a little bit on Snap, she decided to call me, so I answered her call, and after talking about random stuff, she asked me if I was down to go for a date. We barely knew each other and I found it kinda straightforward, but I was down to meet her in person, so I accepted. We kept talking a little bit, then it was about 7 in the afternoon, so we decided that it was time to meet each other. So we ended the call. She texted me her address, then I went into my car. I drove to her place, which is about a 30-minute drive. When I arrived, I sent her a text to let her know that I'm there. I saw her getting out of her house. I waved my hand, then she got into my car. Now we didn't know what to do, but she suggested that we should go to a sushi restaurant, and even though I don't like sushi, I still said sure. When I told her that I don't like sushi, she looked at me with a disgusting look, and I'm pretty sure that she thought to herself that I'm an alien for not liking sushi. Anyways, I drove to the sushi restaurant. We sat at a table and we looked at the menu on her phone. She ordered a shit ton of sushi, while I ordered something else which is not sushi. While waiting, I started to goof around to make her laugh, and I told her that she was really pretty, but she was like, "Oh, I'm not pretty, I'm ugly," and stuff like that. After a moment, we finally got her food, and bro, I ordered one plate of food when she ordered like 5 plates of sushi, and she finished it all when I didn't even finish mine. After I finished my food, she paid for everything and it costed something like $100. I felt kinda bad, but it was nice of her. Then we decided to watch a movie at the cinema, so we checked on her phone to see what movie is showing, and the most interesting choice was the new Jurassic World, but the movie started way too late, so we had to do something while waiting for the movie, and we decided to go at Walmart to goof around. We got into my car and I drove to Walmart. Once we arrived, we got out of my car and went into Walmart to do some bullshit. What we did at Walmart isn't really interesting, but after 1 hour, we checked the time and it was time for the movie. So we got out of the Walmart, went into my car and drove to the cinema. When we got there, we stayed in a parking lot for a little bit, and this girl kept honking my car, and everyone around us were looking at us. After she had a moment with my car, we went into the cinema. I paid for a movie ticket and we went into the cinema room. During the movie, she laid on 2 seats, grabbed my hand and started sleepy to her crotch, but I held it back because no way I will touch her fucking pussy in the cinema room with other people around us. Like, bro, what the fuck? Once she understood that, she just fell asleep laying on the 2 seats. I watched the entire movie and it was pretty good, but when the movie ended, I tried to wake her up, but she wouldn't wake up. With a lot of determination, I finally woke her up. I told her it's time to go home, and she asked me if we could go to my place to sleep. I said sure, so I drove to my house, and during the ride, she fell asleep in my car. When we arrived, I tried to wake her up again, but this time she wouldn't wake up at all. Honestly, I think she was awake and she was just doing this for attention or something like that. So I got out of my car, picked her up and carried her to my bed. When she laid on my bed, she opened her arms and legs like a star, and I knew she either wanted to cuddle or fuck. But I'm not touching a woman without her consent, so I just went into my old sister's room. I mean, she no longer lives in my parents' house, she now lives in an apartment, so the room is empty. Anyways, I laid on the bed and slept there. At around 5 in the morning, she called me on Snap and asked me where I am. I told her that I went to sleep in another room because she was taking the whole bed and I had nowhere to lay on my bed. Then she got mad at me and told me to go in my room. So I got up, went in my room, and the first thing she did was to slap me in the face. Then she said that she wanted to sleep with me and I ruined her night. At this point I just wanted to drive her back to her house, but I just laid on my bed with her and fell asleep for the rest of the night. At around 10 in the morning, we woke up and she said she wanted to take a shower with me. I was like, bruh, okay, why not? And when we got into the bathroom, she was like, oh, I'm too shy, I don't want you to see me naked. So I told her I'm gonna wait for her in my room, but she wanted me to stay in the bathroom with her. At first she wanted to take a shower with me, but now she wanted me to stay in the bathroom while she was taking a shower, so that's exactly what we did. She took a shower while I was on my phone watching random stuff. After a shower, we went back into my room and she asked me if I like amusement parks. I said yeah, and she said that there is one at a 1 hour drive from where we were. I really didn't want to drive 1 hour, but I still said sure, we can go there. But before going there, I had to go to a place to inject me with antipsychotic. So we waited the whole morning at my house because the injection was at 3 in the afternoon. While we were waiting, we talked about random stuff and we even kissed. Anyways, when it was about 2:30 in the afternoon, we hopped into my car, I drove to the place, got injected with antipsychotics, and then it was time to go for the amusement park. Before going, she asked some of her friends if they wanted to come with us, and I called some of my friends if they wanted to come, but nobody wanted because it's a 1 hour drive, and nobody is crazy enough to wait that long just for going to an amusement park. But this girl did a public snap, and one guy wanted to come with us, but he will be there later than us for some reason that I don't know. Anyway, so we drove to the park and during the ride, she kept talking to some dudes on the phone on Snapchat, and most of the dudes were flirting with her. Like one time the dude said he was cooking some shit and she said that it looks tasty and the guy said that she looks tasty. At this point I knew she was a pick-me girl, so I just wanted to turn around and drop her at her house, but I didn't do it. When we arrived at the amusement park, I parked my car, walked to the entrance and paid for our tickets. The first thing that we did was to go for the animal section and we fucking watched some horses for over an hour. Like, okay, I get it, horses are cool, but looking at them for over an hour, like bro, come on now. But after that it was finally time to go for the rides. We did some attraction where it spins you around and it was really fun. I mean, most of the attraction spins you around, but it's still pretty fun. After about an hour, we went to the food truck and ordered some homemade potato chips. It was really delicious, but while we were eating, I started to feel really depressed. I've been battling with depression for a long time, and the reason I felt sad was because I was feeling nostalgic. When I was a kid, my mom and I went to an amusement park like this and it's one of the best memories I had as a kid. So now I was feeling sad because I missed being a child, a time where I never touched drugs and was just happy to be alive. The girl noticed it and said, hey, are you okay? I responded to her saying like, yeah, I'm fine, it's nothing to worry about. But a few minutes later, I was feeling really down, so I told her I'm going in my car to change my mind and I'll be back in a little bit. So I walked to my car, got inside and listened to some music until I was feeling better. Like 30 minutes later, I was finally good to go, so I got out of my car, went back into the amusement park and started to look for her. After a couple of minutes, I couldn't find her, so I decided to go for the Ferris wheel. At this point I was having a good time being by myself. Once the ride finished, I texted her on Snapchat and asked her where she is. She answered and asked me where I am. So I told her I was sitting at a table next to the Ferris wheel and she said she was coming. After a moment, she finally found me and I noticed that she was with a guy. The guy that said he would be there late. So I said hi to him and he was really nice. Then we did all the attractions we did earlier that evening. At this point it was getting late, so I told the girl that I was going home and she had to say bye to the guy. Then even to this day, I still can't believe this. She literally kissed the dude right in front of me when this girl and I kissed multiple times earlier that day. So now in my head I was like, hell nah. And saw this girl as a slut who's gonna kiss every single guys on the planet. And the worst part is, I was the one who's gonna drive her back home. By the way, this girl hates my taste in music, so I knew what to do during the drive. So we got into my car, I connected my phone to the Bluetooth, turned the volume and the bass all the way up and blazed the music the whole 1 hour drive. And this is the kind of music I was blazing. Anyways, at some point the girl crashed out and she said to cut it off, but I just laughed and kept blasting my music. When we finally arrived at my house, she was fake sleeping, obviously, so I shook her to wake her up and she screamed at me like, "Don't touch me!" So I just told her that we are going to grab her stuff together and I will give her a ride back home. But she was like, "No, you are going to grab my stuff." But I kept insisting that we were going to grab her stuff, not me alone. But she kept saying that I was the one who's going to grab her stuff and put it in my car. So at this point I was like, nah, fuck this bitch. So I went in my house, grabbed her stuff and I was gonna put it in her bag, but she was like, "Don't touch my bag." So I said alright and threw her stuff on the grass. Then I told her to get the fuck out of my car and find a ride home. She was like, "You're an asshole" and stuff like that, but I didn't give a shit. I just went into my room, blocked her on Snapchat and went sleep. Then my mother went into my room and asked me why the girl is in front of the house. So I explained my mom everything and she told me that I should have left the amusement park without her. I laughed and I said that she's right. Then I fell asleep. In the morning, my mom told me that the girl's mother picked her up and drove her back to her house. I don't know how my mom got that information, but I didn't care really. So yeah, that's it for the story. Hope you liked it. Like and subscribe if you want, and goodbye.